Yes, now we are live. Hi, Sadiq.
Welcome, guys. Welcome today to the podcast. Really excited. I got my guest here already arrived, and also we have some few guests as well. And really appreciate for coming for this podcast. First of all, the podcast today, the topic is inside real estate in Melbourne. So probably this can be for all of Australia as well, but we are going to talk about inside Melbourne. How the vendors and the landlord can win real estate agent. That's the topic today. And my name is Sadiq Wazeer. I'm the host today. And I got my guest, Prabha Agraja, who is the CEO of Agency HQ. Really excited to he's been on this call. What is my background? My background is I'm a serial entrepreneur in digital entrepreneur, and also my background is helping on the blockchain. I teach people on the blockchain. I also help people to navigate on AI, and also importantly, health is the wealth. That's very much important our life to be living in day to by day. So I think looking after our health is the main purpose of what I do as well. But saying that, really excited for this podcast because this is a great topic that we everyone face in time that you want to buy a property, you want to rent it out. You have options. So now I have my guest Prabha Agraja. This man has a vision. So why I really want to do this podcast, because I saw his mom was sick and he has his laptop 24/7 next to his mom and communicating, coming into the Zoom whenever I do Zooms. And I saw that he has a vision and a mission. So that is what it's all about. So I want to introduce Prabha Agraja. Before that, he has a background on a real estate agent. He has, he has been agent for I think probably 2 to 3 years roughly, and also he also conduct education as well, and he also have different other project as well. I don't want to name everything to complicate with you guys, but really focus on the real estate side. He's the brain of the storm. What he does, he has a team of 6 or 8 members, really expert on what they do. Multiculture is very much the key because, as you know, Melbourne, Australia is multicultural, so he can navigate any language that you guys wanted to conduct. They're there for you. But I just wanted to introduce Prabha Agraja. Welcome to the podcast. I'm really excited having you.
Thank you, Sadiq. That's a great introduction. First of all, good evening, Melbourne, everyone, whoever is watching live right now. Some of them, you know me, what I do in Melbourne. But whoever don't know me, I'm a serial entrepreneur. Like I don't brand one business today. I'm not here to do any lead generation or to do any brand ambassading for any one banner. But the topic what we are going to discuss is about the real estate. And it's not about me, it's not about my journey, but it's about how many failures I had in real estate and how much experience I've gained and what I can share, which may help the common people, whoever is into selling, buying, and wealth management, especially after COVID, how much gap that has been created, especially for the landlords and good vendors and good agents. And we are also going to talk about who is a competent agent, like how to choose a competent agent to work on your property. Because remember, no real estate agent work for you. The real estate agent has to be bounded by the consumer affairs to work for the property, not for you. So that's what we are going to talk. And my thanks for the great introduction by Sadiq. But to be honest, I'm just one among you. I'm here to share the knowledge through these podcast sessions on a day-to-day basis. We are going to come up with multiple the key topics which are burning topics, especially for Australian families and migrant families. So Sadiq, over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks very much. Pleasure to have you here, and thanks for revealing what you are and what is your background. So can you please start with the background that when you were starting this journey with your mom on when she was sick. next to it. Can you just say, describe a few minutes and
Yeah.
say, I mean, that's very much key because as you know,
Yes.
you understand you're a family man, you have, brothers and sisters, and mom was your special thing. So can you
Yeah.
explain what is your mission on that time?
Sure. See, the time when I started, to dream about, because I saw a huge gap in real estate, especially as I said earlier, a lot of people were confused, whether to choose an agent, whether to self manage their property, or to sell the property by advertising themselves. And that's when a lot of people, since I come from education background, a lot of people keep on asking me. I used to refer to so many agents, then I burned my hands. Because that has not served the purpose, that has not served the objective of the vendors to whom I have referred. Since after seeing the gap, I used to discuss with my mom. My mom was my podcast at home, like, discussing with her, talking to her while we are cooking together and all. As a
Mm.
single parent, I understand, there are so many single parents who wants to sell the properties, or who wants to do the financial settlement, the parenting plans and whatnot. So that's when me and my mom, we started drawing on a whiteboard at home. We named it as migrants real estate, because a lot of migrants used to come and inquire about the properties or to sell their properties. And then that's when we started together, me and my mom. And then I had one more partner, for a temporary time. So that's when we started, and slowly it took us some time, and then COVID has taken longer time. By the time I wanted to start the company, my mom was in hospital. My mother has been hospitalized due to severe brain seizures, and that's when I was pushed to sit in the hospital to care for her for longer hours until my brother and sister arrived. And that's when I was sitting in the hospital and started designing the logos and things like that. Then I was able to acquire three more partners. During the sitting at the hospital, I found three more partners who has come from real estate background. And then we formed the company, and we took the franchise from Mr. Mark Morrison from Agency HQ NSW. That has become Agency HQ Melbourne in Victoria. So, to be honest, I'm not the CEO of the company, but I'm the director of the Victorian Agency
Right.
HQ for Victoria State, right? So,
Awesome.
I'm here
Awesome.
to give that expertise, whatever I have learned, with a lot of
Mm.
failures, with a lot of stepping stones. I'm here to share the knowledge with the portfolio of what I have built. I have sold many properties. I bought my own properties. I sold my own properties. Plus, I'm also working for external vendors. Whoever is approaching me to seek help in real estate. Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. Thanks very much for sharing that. And also, can you tell me that you serve everywhere in Melbourne,
Yes,
every suburb?
we have multiple offices in within Melbourne. Some are home based office, but every pocket has got an office, has got someone to look after that particular pocket. But we started from Williams Landing,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the postcodes, 3030, I mean, whoever understands, I
Mm-hmm.
hope the audience, the target audience of this podcast understands what I'm talking about, especially in Melbourne, western suburbs. That's where we started. Now
Yep.
we have grown to southeast. Now from there, now we are starting with a Vietnamese couple in northern suburbs. Very soon we'll be launching our northern suburbs hub. A
Awesome.
bucket. Yeah,
Good.
it's like a small office, but we look after multiple pockets, especially for renting or property management and selling homes.
Awesome. Thanks very much. And also, that recent visit, I seen few trophies on your, in your cabinet. I just wanted to see what you got achieved in a short time period. So, I mean, I just want to share this with other vendors as well, or the people who are interested. How come you achieved this thing in a short time period?
Right, right. I mean, see, to be honest, as we keep serving the vendors, as we keep serving the real estate industry as a state, and also keeping the integrity of this industry, especially with the real estate business, we have to have that highest integrity. We have to have that with no criminal background, with no hiccups, especially working with the families, with no complaints raised to
Hmm.
consumer affairs.
Yep.
And when we do the job with a lot of passion, right, so the passion will reward you back when you
Uh-huh.
keep yourself active. And we never say no to any problem in real estate. That's where we became one stop solution for real estate. And
Uh-huh.
we have been approached by many organizations, charity organizations, to apply for their awards. And some people have nominated without even our notice. I don't know who nominated, but the nomination has come to us. Then we got to then it became our choice whether to agree for that award category or not. So somehow,
Awesome.
like we became finalists for many categories.
Yep.
And recently, the real estate business award has been they recognized as the fastest growing the small business as the fastest growing in Victoria State. So
Awesome.
yeah, so we're still a small business. Like we big, we don't call
Yep.
ourselves big, but definitely we are not micro business anymore. Like we are definitely
Yep.
growing. And it is a developing business. Like we are building a lot of pockets around Melbourne.
Awesome. And how many members that you have in the team, Prabha?
Sadiq, at the moment we are totally 12, right? 12 active agents working, and we
Mm-hmm.
have four directors in the company, like as a
Mm-hmm.
shareholders, and I'm the managing director. And
Sure.
my other partners are supporting with the sales and working with the vendors, especially on the sales side. So they
Yep.
picked up their favorite pockets wherever they want to work. So those pockets are getting served, because
Yep.
there are thousands of families, where it's not a one man show. I can't do everything myself, but my preliminary job is to look after the compliance and working with the department. And I'm the officer in effective control, which is OIEC. We call that
Mm-hmm.
as a technical term. Like you don't have to worry,
Mm-hmm.
but just kind of
Yep.
a CEO for that office. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
Awesome.
it's
Awesome.
just
Thanks.
like
Thanks very much. So
yeah.
I want to ask you a direct question now. As you know, we just finished the election. Is it a good time to buy a property or no?
See, buying and selling of property will never die. We die, but the property will never die, right? So it just changing the hands. So the current state of property market, it's most of the suburbs. They have been waiting because the pockets are filling up. The stocks are getting really increased every day. Reason is, I don't get into the GDP and global economy and all that. And with the current state of the country's condition, the stock has to be sold out now. That means it's a good time to sell because a lot of buyers are coming forward. So
Mm-hmm.
there is no time which is a bad time, because it is a need basis market, because real estate is all about need basis. Whoever wants to sell, whoever wants to, because any vendor is always making money, because after over the years, if they're selling the property, unless they're buying last year and selling now,
Mm-hmm.
it may be a wrong time. But if someone has bought it for a few years ago and selling now, definitely they're going to make good money. And at the same time, the stock will move. Once the stock moves, the whoever is selling, they may buy a property somewhere else, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the buyer today is tomorrow's seller, and seller today is tomorrow's buyer.
Okay, that's awesome. So I'll ask you a question because all this picked up question what people normally ask and look for it. So
Yeah.
what is a good place to invest?
Oh, good play. Okay, that's a very broad question. My dear friends and viewers of this podcast, remember, wherever you make your life, you buy a property there. If it is something to do with the home, and your what do you call, your lifestyle, and your domestic usage, you always buy a property where you are comfortable with, especially look after keeping the children first. I'm sorry, keeping the children as the highest priority. Buy a home close to the school, wherever it is. Every suburb is a good suburb as long as you create a lifestyle. That's what I say. Now, when it comes to the business, now that works on a scenario basis, case by case. I'm more than happy to advise if you are buying a business or even if you're selling a business, you're looking for someone who wants to buy this business, because again, business is also is volatile, like because people sell business and then buy business, right? Unless you want to you have a big dream to chase, to make your company public limited, that's a different story. But otherwise, any small to medium business, they can always pick up a suburb where there are a lot of head hunts. I mean, like where a lot of people live there, and what depends on what kind of people live there. In the location, always depends. Sorry, the property prices depends on the location, and location depends. The location versus the property price depends on what kind of people are living there,
Okay.
right? So it is the expectation of the people and the current market price, how it is decided by the people, of the people, to the people.
Yeah. Okay, I'll leave that until the end. You give me a hot place where the people can stay in the call. Then you can give some hot tips, which place to, which other, really good play,
Yeah,
good
yeah.
suburb to buy a property or investment or whatever.
That
Okay.
goes by case again.
Case
Yes.
by case, yeah. In the end, you can put just a little bit of to our people who are listening this. They stay until the end, so probably going to give some golden nuggets. So
Sure.
now we'll move to the people who are renters, especially when they renting out their property. How
Yeah.
they can look for a good agent. What are the 5 or 4 things they must look first?
See, first of all, when they decide, first thing is they need to decide whether they want to self manage the property or give to a property manager, right? So real estate works both on selling properties and also managing the properties.
Mm,
So we are talking about domestic because this podcast is more for the families with the children, right?
yeah.
Especially the viewers are more of families. Now, uh, when you choose an agent, first thing is whether the agent is able to do follow ups with you and how much relation they have built with you. Because that is where these days there are a lot of advertisements everywhere, but people don't come with the advertisement. They go with the person like who can communicate, right?
Mhm.
So you test how they are communicating, whether they're able, at least they are able to send an email or a text message, or able to call, or able to manage a diary, right? And the rent collection, because you want your rent on time. That is the most important, Sadik. These days,
Absolutely.
people, collecting rent on time is going to be a nightmare. Like, how whether they that has to give a peace of mind that if someone is a landlord, their property has to be managed as the rent has to be collected on time and reported. Whether if the rent is delayed, it has been reported, it has been given a notice and notice period, and then whatever the compliance requires them to do, and mm, avoiding any tribunal process. Tribunal
Mhm.
is like, which is in Victoria we call it as uh, Victorian Civil Administrator Tribunal, which is called VCAT, right?
Big cat. Yeah.
So we have to avoid the VCAT process in such a way the agent has to play very very smartly. They have to dance together between the landlord and the tenants, right?
Hmm.
So it's you, the agent has to get that feeling that wow, my property is safe. So, and even if it goes to VCAT, the
Hmm.
person who is managing your property has to understand the compliance obligations, and
Yeah.
they have to be documented. Everything has to be documented. They need to be a document savvy, so they have to be an expert, very very professional in dealing with this, and very proactive. and very responsive. This you can only test with an agent. You can't keep testing multiple agents. Test with one or two. 2 months authority, 1 month authority. You're testing. If something is not good, just move on, because there's nothing stops with moving on from one agent to another agent, especially with the for the landlords. When it comes to the property management, it is just like plug in and plug off. So there is nothing to be worried, because a lot of people, they'll be still surviving while the agent is not good enough to their expectation, and the landlord will keep on surviving with the same agent. And I spoke to many people. What happened? No, my agent is this, never picks up the call, never returns the call, no reply for the email, no discipline, no inspections has been done, there's no documents. Now consumer affairs, we lost the deposit, we lost the, what do you call that, bond money has been taken away, the tenant has left the rubbish on the road, uh, they have spoiled the property has been damaged, there is no one to care. That has not been reported, that this there was an incident, the triple
Sure.
zero has been rang, police has come, but no one has informed us. All these issues.
Yep.
My dear friends, you can move managing your property from one agent to another agent. You don't have to worry, you don't have to stick to one agent at all. End of the day, it is your property. Manage your property, make sure the property is safe. When the property is safe, you have a peace of mind.
Yeah. Okay, Prabha, I think you break it down very much, everything like pinpointing all what is important. Can you differentiate with agency HQ and how you deal with the scenario with other agents? I don't want to name
Yeah,
the
right.
agent, but I'm saying
That's
roughly.
fine.
So
No,
what is
even
the
see,
difference? Yeah.
correct. Sadiq, first of all, I am not here on representing agency HQ. I am here representing the local community, local families.
Yeah.
My dear friends, you all have properties. You all, maybe you are a tenant for another property. So maybe you are ex-tenant of today's property, or maybe
Okay.
tomorrow you are going to be tenant again. But whatever it is, you are a consumer. This affair is for the consumers, especially when you choose an agent. Make sure what kind of hands-on service they can provide. Are they monitoring arrears? Can they act fast? This is what we showed the difference from agency HQ.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, again, I don't want to promote the company, what I'm handling at the moment, but it's about, end of the day, keeping landlords informed real time, making sure everyone is copied. Some people, they don't reply. They don't, there are few emails which needs to be replied all, but they don't reply. They keep one on one and they hide. There is
Mm-hmm.
no transparency, right? And
Awesome.
there are a lot of repairs and maintenance. Again,
Yeah.
that's where we showed the difference, Sadiq. Because with
Beautiful.
agency,
So I think
we have
mostly
we
you're
have
saying in a way you update, you monitor, you
yes,
database up and running, you do the inspection on time,
absolutely. The property
communication.
is never vacant, Sadiq. It's
Mm,
never vacant. There's zero vacancy, zero areas. 100,
yeah.
100% satisfied, because the repairs, and we educate the landlord to get their insurance with the landlord insurance. And again, we build the relationship with the tenant. There are how many agents they build relationship with the tenant, because since the tenant is not paying the agent, they don't care, like, who is the tenant living there. That's wrong. That's very, very unethical. They have to have
Yeah.
the relationship. They need to
Yeah.
know who the tenants are. On top of
Mm-hmm.
that, before I finish on this question, what you asked, like, the way how I show the competitive edge, and my competitive edge is, I have a network of 200 tradies through another company, and we work with multiple companies with the tradies. But we have created a database of 200 tradies who can go and fix the problem within 24 hours. Anything.
That's awesome. That's
Anything.
awesome. Really.
So
That's the service.
that's the service. That's the added advantage. Like, someone, I mean, with all my properties, whichever I'm managing, they
Okay.
have a peace of mind. Yes.
Okay. I want to share with for the audience
Yes.
because he mentioned about the service. Now, I have a good friend in Dubai. He's a real estate owner, tycoon. We're talking about billion-dollar projects. On his call, he was explaining something for me. One of the property manager, when certain things were wrong, and this is actually in
mm,
USA, he's in Dubai, and his manager, instead of not even calling the customer, there was a, I think they had a winter time, the heater was not, hot water was not working, which is important,
mm,
right?
yes,
And the plumber couldn't fix it, but the manager went to straight away to the house to inspect and try to fix the problem ASAP.
mm,
So the owner of the company saying to me, this is type of the people we need in his business, and he's doing the providing service. As you mentioned, every time we are lack of service, to be honest, that I totally agree. In Australia, communication, lack of service, it's the problem we face sometimes. That's why I think when you own your own property, you need someone to take care of like your own. So I think you guys are doing amazing job. I really appreciate. And now I think we talk about the rental, probably know how you guys going to,
yes,
rent it out, and
yeah,
how you're going to, people going to, come and, renting the application process, everything. That's really awesome. Now, I think we have to change the topic, which is the new home buyers, how
yes,
they can buy, what you advise them, what is the process, just
right.
a brief one. So because I know a lot of people are moving in from overseas, and so how these families you can help, the first home buyers. Have you got a program, or how you guide them, please?
Yeah. First thing, right? Buying a home is the biggest dream. It's like after once you land in any new country, it is a journey until you buy a home. So renting a home, if someone is renting a home, I always suggest don't lose your money because paying the rent is a dead money, right? So everyone, they have to buy a home one day. Now choosing a home as a first home buyer, there are a lot of grants and things like that. With the government will educate. So I don't go into that grant thing because that keeps changing as the government imposes
Yeah.
any new conditions or new changes, whatever it is. But first thing is you choose the suburb where you want to live, where you want to see your future. Maybe the reasons can be anything. It can be a source of a lot of good families, what you have done, your research, your friends. Maybe it's close to your job, your workplace, whatever it is. So have your expectations very clear. Decide which suburb you want to purchase. Now, if you are choosing an agent to buy a property, that's called buyer's agent. We have one buyer's agent recruited on board. Like we can advise, but at the same time, uh, as a buyer, your research has to be more on what you want, where you want, what's your budget. So what's
Yes.
your pre-approval? Because you need a bank loan, right? So you will approach a bank. You need to have a stability with your income. So I don't go into the income side because that's something you have to work out. But again, you need a loan, right? Loan can happen directly from the bank if you are 100% sure that you don't need a mortgage broker. But there are plenty of brokers in every street. There are average 5 to 10 mortgage brokers are there. So uh, if you know someone, like if you have a friend, if you want to support that particular mortgage broker, go and help them. If you don't know anyone, we have in-house mortgage broker. Come to us. Okay, coming to us or not, it's your choice, but now you need a mortgage broker. At the same time, you need a conveyancer because you're going to pay the 10% or 5% deposit plus
Mhm.
the 90% of the loan, or sometimes you may be eligible only to get the 80% of the loan. So that again, check with your mortgage broker, check with your bank conditions and your income. So these are all variable. If, for suppose, let's say you have paid 20% deposit. If you got that genuine savings of 20% deposit, keep it ready. Even if it is 90%, excellent. There is no mortgage, worry to really worry about, because you got the pre-approval. Now you have chosen a property. Now the bank process will start. Bank will, I mean, you will own the property, but under the guarantee of the bank loan, right? The bank loan will be there. So indirectly, you have to understand, you will not become 100% owner of the home until you pay the bank loan. So you're a partial owner, but at the same time on the mortgage, right? So you need to have sustainable income to pay the mortgage on a monthly cycle as per the loan repayments. Currently, the mortgage, the interests are approximately 6%, let's say 6 or 6.5, whatever it is. I heard that there is going to be a good news from 1st of June that it's going to reduce by 1%. So let's say if it is 6, it will become 5. If it is 6.5, the variable interest it can become 5.5, right?
Ah,
So altogether, as a first home buyer, you need to have the dream where you want to live and find a good agent. If you don't know anyone, please talk to me. I will guide you through. We have in-house conveyancers as well. So you still need conveyancer, you still need a loan process to be done, and your serviceability to be checked. Make sure your credit rating is good enough to get your loan. So
oh,
this is
okay.
what I
That
advise.
that's awesome. So I also heard from the new government they are establishing for the new home buyers. What do you think about that?
See, with labor, as per their manifesto, if you see, I mean, like, with the current government, they're going to support a lot with the first home buyers, and they also promised, because I can't represent a political party in this podcast, but at the same time, I try to understand. Uh, the government is really working hard for it. Whichever the government comes, they understand the community issues. They understand the local, property,
Mm-hmm.
portfolio, and also the buyers and people, their survivability and sustainability in the local, suburbs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks very much. But also, what do you think about within another 3 to 5 years? Where will be the market? And I mean, just a rough idea because you're in the industry. What do you think the market's going heading? And also, what do you think about suburbs market where it's all heading as well, same time?
Right. Okay. See, at the moment, if you see the generally, right, any property when people buy, in Australia, the cycle is like this. Like every 9 to 10 years, the property has to double,
Mm-hmm.
right? But in the last decade, uh, only few suburbs has got that appreciation, and
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of unlucky properties which has not got appreciated, like
Yeah.
especially St. Albans.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Many properties were at the same price what they have bought 9 years ago. They're still at the same price, especially the commercial properties. Even when it comes to the old homes, the property price is still the same. Or
Yeah.
Sunshine, still the
Yeah.
same, right?
I think for me personally, when I look at it, especially the first home buyers, they really need a good, try to find A to Z all the information, especially where they want to buy it, where it's heading the market. Like you explain, because the new home buyers are the most key. Sometimes some people even won't think about this. I think
Right.
when you have all the information once you get all the information, then you of course you understand where the market's going to go and what's really happening. So in that sense, I think probably all the agency will be educated, but again, it doesn't mean the real estate people going to educate. You have to educate yourself because that's the way you can find the right real estate in a way. Because see, I'm looking for a property, I have information. But sometimes you only look at the money side. A lot of the time, people look at money, how much money I have, how much the interest rate. They don't look around the suburb growth. They don't look whether there is a
Correct.
school, where the train there was it, how is the traffic, how's the suburb, how they have been conditioned. For example, how they establish in where the sports centers are there, swimming
True.
pool. You have to look all of the lot of the things. Yeah. So I
That's
think that more they educate, they
Hmm.
get the best property. I guess this is my belief. But what do you think about that?
See, that's really true. I mean, like, with the any whatever the message we gave for the first home buyers, be brave, keep your job clean, and just come with your dream. We'll make it happen because we have the experience of wealth management and the portfolio building. Especially with the properties. How many properties you can buy. Well, if you buy, we can show a formula. Like, if you buy the first three properties with your jobs, fixed
Mm.
income between you and your wife, for example, any couple coming to us, by the time they come to the fourth property, at least they paid off one property.
Oh,
you know
that's good.
yeah, in spite of waiting 30 years to pay for one property, you can actually, this is called portfolio building. This is what we teach. So property buyers or vendors, especially the vendors, if
Hmm.
you're selling, you should know where to invest and how to buy. So
Okay.
if you're so by choosing the agent from where you're selling is the important point. So how they
Awesome.
handle the whole
Hmm.
process, and what do you do after making, let's say you bought the property for 500,000 and now you
Hmm.
made 1 million.
Hmm.
What do you do with the money?
Exactly.
So people don't know.
Yeah.
People don't know.
That's.
So you need to understand like how to pay off for the one of the property you live, and then
Uh-huh.
how do you save that interest, and then how do you work out on your superannuation. Will you
Mm-hmm.
want to work with your super, or you want to keep it stable, or you want to reinvest your super? There are a lot of
Hmm.
things we work with. So
Awesome.
that's where we have a financial planner in house,
Hmm.
and we also have the conveyancers and legal advisors in the property market. So you need to find an agent who is a one-stop solution for your life problems, especially in the property market.
Yep, that's awesome. Prabha, I'm going to ask outside of the box, which is a little bit outside of the Melbourne, because as you
Yeah.
know, a lot of people follow me. They are a lot of people who are looking to do different things in their life, investing side. So if some one of my Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or YouTube people who are watching
Yes.
my podcast and seeing, oh, Prabha Agraja agency, whether they will think, okay, whether there is a property that I can buy from him. Anything that you can advise? You currently done any deal outside of Australia?
Yes. Anything outside Australia you're talking about, is it?
That means the person who want to buy in USA, Canada, UK, India, you name it. They want
See,
to buy a property.
yeah, for the buyers, I really stay out of any advice going and buying from overseas because it's
Okay.
hard to give any advice because we don't know those vendors who are
Uh-huh.
actually selling, what kind
Mm.
of compliance they follow, and the
Hmm.
regulations of that particular country, right?
Sure.
But anything buying a property in Australia or New Zealand, we are there for you.
Mm.
And see, I come from my hometown Tirupati. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
I deal with a lot of properties in Tirupati. So since I
Uh-huh.
sailed there, since I
Uh-huh.
lived there, I my schooling education was done there until I was 21. After that, I
Yeah.
landed in Melbourne. So that means
Yeah.
I balance Melbourne and Tirupati. These two are my two eyes.
Two eyes.
So
That's good.
I know the Melbourne market so well,
Hmm.
Melbourne, Sydney, and Adelaide and Perth and major cities in Australia. In
Sure.
Australia, at the same time, in
Hmm.
Andhra Pradesh, where I came from Tirupati, I deal with many properties, especially buyers who wants to buy a property from there.
Hmm.
We have plenty of good opportunities. So recently, we have sold close to 50 apartments close to the airport in Tirupati.
Wow,
Right?
amazing.
So there are
That's good.
the apartments are going to be built on eight buildings. It
Yep.
is 10-acre land, eight
Hmm.
blocks, eight
Hmm.
blocks. That means eight different buildings. Like with having each seven floors each.
Yeah.
1,874 apartments are getting built, which is a
Hmm.
gated community. So there, I'm still selling only to the
Wow,
known
amazing.
people, only to the known people who wants to buy a property and then sell after 2 years, 3 years, whatever, or renting it out,
Yeah.
whatever it is from Tirupati. I'm trying to help them.
Awesome. I think, Prabha, thanks very much for covering all the, great information, because information is the key. People to
Yes.
connect with anything. I think you deliver much information, like people who can think about, where we
Yeah.
had to go. This all been covered. Now, I think we got some few guests on the panel. I'm just going to
Yeah.
give some time if they have any question to ask. So, who we got in the panel? Can you see anyone?
Anyone there? I could see few people were waiting, and then I think they're not there anymore. But again, if you have any questions, like any other questions, please proceed. Otherwise, I think I gave enough information with this small session, which is I think 40 minutes of session. But my dear friends, like whoever wants to know what I do and what I can help you with, just Google my full name, Prabhakar Agraja. If you Google my name, you can see my number, my achievements, my contact numbers, email addresses, and so on. Um, so I am very, very passionate to work with the community issues, and with my neighborhood, with working with the local councils. Eventually, I want to be in the system to help more people. So definitely, I've shown my interest to enter politics just because of my passion to help more and more people. Now, if you have any problems, any problems in real estate, or anything you're stuck with your somewhere in your life, with your milestones or career goals or anything, I'm here to help you. I'm here to advise you. I can show you a solution. Like, it's not just giving an advice. I can show you a path. I can be your mentor. Whatever I have experienced, I'm here to share.
Awesome. Thanks very much, Prabha Agraja, and really appreciate for doing this podcast with me. And I think people will love the information that you are given, and they can take advantage. This is the time. So, guys, you probably heard from the director, Agency HQ, and he is more than happy to. You guys can visit his office in Wyndham Well, and also he got some other offices in branches in certain places as well, but make sure you connect with him first. Of course, he can guide you east and west, north, you name it, he'll be there. And also saying that, first, if you have any question, you probably we didn't ask these questions, you can put it on the chat now, or you can send a message to Prabha. I think he will be able to help you with all the questions, because we have only short time. I don't want to take 1.5 hours or 2 hours time, and there won't be ending part of the podcast. So we want to make it sure, sweet and nice, so people understand the message, what we try to do it here. And I really appreciate everyone watching this podcast. Much appreciated, and much love from Melbourne, Australia. Prabha, thank you very much for have you in the podcast
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sadiq. Thank you, everyone. Just
Thank
Google
you.
me. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thanks. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.